Part 14. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 131. Yeah. You're too polite. Aunt Lou happily took it. Did you buy it from the shop at the corner of the street? These cost 50 or 60 cents, right? Next time, don't buy them there. You can buy them from the black market. Pancakes are much cheaper than this. I don't dare to go no matter how cheap it is. Yang Sisi deliberately emphasized the word dare not. I'm not afraid of shopping. If I'm caught with my head down and criticized, I'll let it go. Aunt Lou took out the iron pot and kitchen knife she bought on the black market. I heard that they are dumped from the factory and are cheaper than department stores. Nearly double. Yang Sisi weighed the pot and found it was very heavy. The same goes for kitchen knives. It will definitely work for chopping meat. I happen to be short of a handy kitchen knife at home. Where did you buy it? On the black market? I'll shop there too. I don't know if there are any more. Go and take a look for yourself. Aunt Lou gave the name of the street in detail. Don't tell outsiders. Yang Sisi assured, of course. She sat with Aunt Lou for a long time and then left on the pretext of going back to her parents' home. She rode her bike in the direction of the black market that Aunt Lou had mentioned. Just out of the street. When she met Li Yue, the other party waved at her with large and small bags of things. When Sisi got out of the car, she said, "Sister, I have something to ask you." Li Yue has been suffering from insomnia since she and Feng Shuangzi came out of the hotel that day. Vaguely I feel that the problem lies with Yang Sisi. I have been trying to check with Yang Sisi for the past few days, but she does not have a pass and cannot enter the family home. She is dying of panic. Yang Sisi was surprised. The sun came out in the west. Ask me? Tell me. I always tell you everything I know, but for you, I can make it up if I can. Li Yue hesitated. That's right. If you marry Feng Shuangzi, how will you be a wife? Yang Sisi was stunned for a moment and said inexplicably, why should I marry him? To give back my wife. He is beautiful. What if I had chosen Qin Yanci and my father arranged for you to marry Feng Shuangzi? Yang Sisi looked stern. Do I have to listen to his arrangements? She really had no choice but to marry Feng Shuangzi. Hit him 9 times in 3 days. Stinking rogue. Thinking of this, she smiled and said, are you testing me? Don't worry, Feng Shuangzi is your man. I will never take another look. Besides, I am already married to a CI, and he is the only one in my eyes and heart. You don't ask me to thank you for giving him to me. You should be glad you didn't choose him. After all, you always him off and you were beaten every day when you married him. Li Yue. Yang Sisi was too lazy to pay attention to Li Yue anymore. After speaking, she rode her bike to the black market. There are not many buyers in the market. There are a lot of people selling things. Straw mats, baskets, nuts and other dry goods are everywhere. There are also aquatic products stalls, and she likes the needlefish in the fish seller's basin. Hello brother, how much does this fish cost per pound? $1, it's $1.50 at the vegetable market. Girl, would you like 2 caddies? Yang Sisi thinks the price is fair. 3 caddies. Qin Yanci loves to eat fish. 1 big fish can be killed in 1 meal. Too little is not enough. Okay, after weighing the fish seller found a rag bag and handed it to Yang Sisi. Girl, here it is. Yang Sisi took out a neat 10 yuan sheet. The fish seller said in embarrassment, I can't find any. Do you have any change? Yes, but I only have 2 pieces, which is not enough. How about you pick something else, 7 cents for crucian carp and 5 cents for silver carp. If you combine them into 5 pieces, I can find them. Yang Sisi nodded. Okay, the silver carp is too big, you choose a crucian carp. Okay, you are such a good person. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 132. Ying Sisi grinned. The other party picked a crucian carp weighing 3 kilograms and gave her 2 yuan. She carried the fish and the change and was ready to leave. She didn't know that she was being watched by an uncle when she was paying. At this time, the man approached her and said, "Girl, do you want copper coins? Each one is only a dime." The fish seller said, "You can't buy anything with copper coins, so I'll give you 10 cents each. You can buy a bowl of soy sauce and a bowl of vinegar for 10 cents, which is enough for the whole family for 2 or 3 months. I asked the girl, but I didn't ask you. Girl, do you want to take a look? They are all old items. You can definitely sell them for money after collecting them. Why don't you accept it if you can sell it for money?" The fish seller couldn't help but said, "You see, girls are young and easy to deceive, right?" The uncle's face turned the color of pig's liver with anger. "Dogs are meddling in other people's business. I am so eager to fight against injustice." Ying Sisi remembered what Qin Yanxi said, that there is a special place to collect old things. She sold the stamps last time for 1,000. Maybe the copper coins can also be sold at a good price? She interjected, "Can you take a look first? I'll buy it if I like it." "Okay, okay." The uncle immediately took out the copper coins from his pocket and stuffed them into Ying Sisi's hand. Ying Sisi avoided it and took out a handkerchief and unfolded it. Uncle put the copper coins. Ying Sisi looked at them one by one, picked out the ones with sloppy handwriting that she didn't recognize, and counted them, which were 26 in total. "I want all of these, and I'll give you $2.06. The uncle was anxious. "Why don't you want the other ones? I'll give you the extra 40 cents, do you think so? If it weren't for my family's difficulties, I wouldn't be willing to sell it." Ying Sisi is overflowing with sympathy. "Just take it if you want it, it's just an extra 4 cents. Okay, think of it as doing good deeds and accumulating virtue." The uncle took the money and ran away. The fish seller slapped his leg. "Girl, if you have money, you can't spend it like this. I have too many copper coins in my house. I give them to my children to play with, but they think they'll lose their hands. You will definitely be criticized when you go home," Ying Sisi said indifferently. "It's okay." She rode her bike home, went into the house and turned on the TV to watch for a while, then started killing the fish and preparing the ingredients. Qin Yanxi came back while posting pot stickers. "It smells so good, what are you doing?" Ying Sisi, "Small fish pot stickers, with wild garlic added inside, can be eaten after stewing for a while." Qin Yanxi put down the book and came forward. The fried fish was bubbling with the soup and side dishes. "Looking at it makes me greedy. It will take a while before we can eat it." Ying Sisi took out the handkerchief. "First, help me read what is written on it. I don't recognize any of the scrawled words, but I think these should be very valuable. The other copper coins are only the Qiantong and the Dao Guangtong." Qin Yanxi smiled and said, "It's Qian Longtong Bao and Dao Guangtong Bao. I don't recognize the scrawled text. Where did it come from?" "I bought it for 3 yuan, is it worth it?" "It's hard to judge, Qin Yanxi. This scrawled one may be valuable, but the Qian Longtong Bao and Dao Guangtong Bao are definitely not worth it, because I have quite a few of them at home. I often played with them when I was a kid, and I don't feel bad if I lose them at home." Ying Sisi was disappointed and lost. "Didn't I lose money?" Qin Yanxi comforted him. 3 yuan is not 30. If there is any loss, just treat it as a purchase. If you want to know the specific value, I will ask someone to ask you later." "Okay, if it's valuable, I'll buy you something delicious." "Okay." After the pot stickers are cooked, the two of them eat directly around the stove. Qin Yanxi had a good appetite. He ate more than half of the pot of pot stickers alone and said, "I don't seem to be full." Ying Sisi added the noodles and said, "It should be almost done now." By the way, today is Saturday, can we go back to the courtyard to live? She didn't go back last week, and she won't go back this week. Her mother-in-law felt uncomfortable, and Lu Yuechunruo took the opportunity to provoke. The mother-in-law would never blame her for not helping them ease the relationship between mother and son. Please vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 133. Qin Yanxi was silent for a long time, and nodded almost invisible, yes. After dinner, the two simply packed up and returned to the courtyard. The children of the eldest brother of the Qin family were noisy and stopped immediately when they saw Qin Yanxi. Some ran to the room, and some got into Qin's mother's arms. What are you afraid of when my uncle comes back? Qin's mother was very happy. Have you eaten? Qin Yanxi, who doesn't want to eat this? If you don't eat, you won't say that my wife didn't take good care of me. Mother Qin's smile narrowed, I don't mean that. Your elder brother brought back a lot of apples a while ago. I'll get some for you. No, my wife will buy it for me. The light in Mother Qin's eyes dimmed. My daughter-in-law bought it for you, didn't she use your money? Stupid or not. As a wife and daughter-in-law all day long, there is no one else in your eyes, right? But she only dared to complain in her heart, fruits are quite expensive. You two don't have jobs, so every cent you spend is less. Qin Yanxi interrupted, since we refuse your and dad's help, we have our own plans and you don't need to worry about it. Mother of Qin opened her mouth, hey. Seeing that his son was unhappy, Qin's father tried to divert his attention and said, Yanxi, how is your review going? Teacher Zhang said that you will participate in a national mathematics competition early next month. Are you confident? Qin Yanxi said calmly, absolutely. Yang Sisi asked curiously, competition? Why didn't I listen to you before? Qin Yanxi's eyes flashed, it's just like an ordinary test. It's not worth mentioning. You just have to leave home for a few days. Are you going somewhere else? Local. What home are you leaving here? Yang Sisi didn't understand. She wouldn't stay in a guest house like last time, right? It's convenient to live near the stadium, Father Qin said with a smile. Yang Sisi thought the same thing, where is the competition? I will make some delicious food for you during the break. Qin Yanxi hurriedly said, no need to bother, you can read more at home and I will check. Yang Sisi, why did you tell her to check her in front of her parents-in-law? Does she have no face? Snort. Qin Yanxi changed the subject, Dad, I have something to discuss. Let's talk in the study. Hey, let's go. The mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, and 3 children are left in the living room. Children are playing again. Qin Jin and Lu Yuechun walked out of the room. The latter smiled and said, you're back. Your brother and I just put the child to sleep. How long do we review the banquet speeches every day? He sounded like he was very tired. Yang Sisi, about 9:30 previously, it was after 10 o'clock, and she didn't allow it. Have you rested so early? A relative of mine is also taking the college entrance examination this year. He studies at 11 or 12 o'clock every day and gets up at 4 or 5 in the morning. He only sleeps 5 or 6 hours a day and speaks with great energy. It's like a banquet speech, heavy and tired. As soon as Lu Yuechun said this, Qin's mother thought wrongly. Is it caused by the daughter-in-law's daily entanglement? Yang Sisi smiled calmly. Before marriage, she would have only found Lu Yuechun's words strange. Now she understands instantly. Lu Yuechun clearly hinted to her mother-in-law that it was her reason why Qin Yanxi was very tired. Life is boring if you don't sow discord, right? She counterattacked without leaving a trace. Why didn't I hear that Amazes' voice was deep and tired? Maybe I couldn't notice it after we stayed together for a long time. Sister-in-law, how old are your relatives? They are so able to endure. I said that he used to be and I often worked nights on the farm, so I must have been physically exhausted from the hard work at that time. Mother of Chin felt extremely guilty for a moment, and choked with sobs. He has suffered. I should have brought him back earlier. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 134. Yang Cixi raised a sarcastic smile. Yes, it should have been earlier. Why not? She analyzed it. Maybe it was because the slogans in the countryside were shouted too loudly in the past few years, and in Father Chin's position, he needed to set an example. That's why I haven't brought the person back. Now that the position is stable, Chin Yanci has stayed for such a long time. Even if he is taken back, no one can say anything. Lu Yuechun glanced at Yang Cixi and in a few words diverted her mother-in-law's attention from her, who originally underestimated her. Mom, don't be too sad. After 10 years of experience, it will be good for your future work. Mother Chin nodded and said, Hey, it's getting late. Let's go to bed early. Yang Cixi greeted politely, turned around and walked to the side room. Lying on the bed, suddenly Chin Yanci never said where he was competing. Are you afraid that she will come after you or what? Who cares? Like it? She closed her eyes to sleep, and vaguely noticed someone touching her face. She felt so sleepy that she slapped her face and turned over in annoyance. Chin Yanci's laughter came to my ears. He is not big, but his temper is not small. Snort. Yang Cixi fell asleep soundly. Li Yue, however, suffered from insomnia. When she thought about the engagement party tomorrow, she felt so panicked that she tossed and turned until dawn. While sleeping soundly, Feng Shuangzi's shouting sounded in his ears, Yue, I'm here. Song Hanmei has been discharged from the hospital, but still cannot accept the reality. She rolled her eyes. What are you yelling for? Feng Shuangzi wore a military green cotton padded jacket today. His hanging arms were lowered but still bent in front of him. He smiled to please, Mom, my family's betrothal gift is 2 wild geese and a sheep, which are tied in the yard. Please take a look at it. Song Hanmei didn't even look at him for charity. What's the purpose of this beast? Feng's mother's face dropped. My dear, on this big day, who are you showing off to? Song Hanmei, can you control me? You. Feng Shuangzi said, Mom, we are getting engaged today, and there will be many relatives coming to the house later. If you make a fuss, it is our people who will be embarrassed. Feng's mother could not tolerate her displeasure and turned her eyes. Where is Yue? Li Yue hurriedly put on her clothes, combed her hair and put some powder on her face before walking out of the room. Mother Feng smiled and said, Yue, starting from today, we are a family. Li Yue smiled shyly. Yes, she sat with Feng's mother for a while, then got up and went to the bathroom to brush her teeth, wash her face and dress up. When she came to the living room again, Feng's mother and Feng Shuangzi disappeared at the same time. She thought they were driven away by Song Hanmei. He said angrily, Mom, can you give me some face at the engagement party today? Song Hanmei said in a bad tone, what do you mean? Li Yue, where are Shuangzi and Auntie? Song Hanmei reacted and almost lost her temper. Do you think she took the person away? How would I know? Outside. Yang Cixi is back, dressed very fashionably. When she raised her arms, I saw a gold bracelet on her wrist. It must be a gift from her husband's family. You don't have one, right? No, no, no. Li Yue didn't care and walked out. Yang Cixi and Chin Yanci stood together. The two of them stood out among the crowd. Especially Yang Cixi, whose skin is as good as snow and whose eyebrows are curved. Hair was disheveled and he wore a black beret. Wearing a long camel coat with an excellent fit on the outside, a thin black turtleneck on the inside, and a woolen skirt of the same color and texture as the turtleneck, which reaches to the ankles. On her feet was a pair of small black leather shoes made of cotton. The whole person looks expensive and fashionable. This outfit will not be out of date even after decades. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 135. Li Yue was extremely jealous. Why didn't her husband's family dress like this in her previous life? She gave a forced smile. Sister, you are here. Your clothes are so beautiful. Where did you buy them? Ying Sisi, a gift from my mother-in-law. Feng's mother didn't believe it and curled her lips and said, which mother-in-law has so much spare money to give her daughter-in-law clothes, and the gifts fit her so well? Ying Sisi, my mother-in-law, judging from your tone, she won't give Yue any clothes? Hey, Yue, if you listen to Dad's call and choose a well-matched person for you, what do you want? I have to choose him. I really can't do anything to you. She looked distressed. Li Yue almost gritted her teeth. In front of everyone, Feng Shuangzi did not save any face, and even laughed at her mother-in-law. Let it be shown clearly and look ugly to her. It's so abominable. Waiting. When Feng Shuangzi comes out, I will definitely disturb your family's peace. What's wrong with my son? Feng's mother couldn't stand others looking down on her son, so she puffed out her chest and rushed towards Ying Sisi. I was caught by Feng Shuangzi in time. I am such a good boy, but you dare to offend the female devil. Do you know that your son almost died in her hands? There is also Hu Niu. I heard that he has become a plow and has trouble peeing. The two victims. I don't even have the courage to settle accounts with her. You are really ignorant and fearless. He said, Mom, everyone is watching the engagement party today. Please don't make trouble. Feng's mother glanced. Many neighbors looked at her and laughed, but she couldn't act rashly, so she had to hold back her temper again. About 10 o'clock. The relatives have arrived. Li Junlu arranged for everyone to enter the hotel. There are 2 tables together. Most of them are relatives and friends of the Li family. They are well dressed and well spoken. Father Feng and Mother Feng were sitting there, looking very proud. My son is still capable. I got a girl from a wealthy family without spending much money. If Shuangzi did something wrong in the future, they would have nothing to worry about if they had their in-laws to rely on. The couple is in a good mood and have a better appetite. Every time a dish is served, it is a mess. The people at the same table all showed disgusted expressions. The couple were still unaware. After eating, they discussed in a low voice, picked up the wine glasses, and said that they wanted to toast everyone. From now on, my family's double happiness is entrusted to you. Everyone laughed. Entrust? Are you about to die? Hand someone over. Li Junlu laughed along with him. Song Hanmi I only felt embarrassed and lowered her head. Li Yue also thought that Feng's father and Feng's mother would not be able to get on the stage, but she comforted herself and waited for Feng Shuangzi to make a career. Father Feng and Mother Feng said something casually, and countless people would echo it. If you are not polite, you will be said to be frank and down to earth. After the engagement party, we separated at the entrance of the hotel. Ying Sisi sat on the back seat of Qin Yanxi's car, her lips curled up and she couldn't let go. Today was the happiest day in the past few months since she had been in Beijing. She had enough of giggling and said, ACI, let's visit the ancient city. I heard that's where the emperor and queen lived. I want to see them. Listen to you. The two of them came to the gate of the ancient city to store their cars and buy tickets to enter. Every time she passed a palace, Qin Yanxi would introduce it to her. When walking to the concubine's residence, Ying Sisi was surprised, the place where the concubine lives is so small. And there is no heating. How can I survive the winter? The ancients paid attention to gathering qi, and their bedrooms were small, so they could burn charcoal for heating. Not afraid of being poisoned either. Qin Yanxi smiled, I must have a way to take precautions. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 136. On their way home from shopping, the two of them passed by a theater and went to watch a movie. Walk out of the cinema. Qin Yanxi, came a clear voice. Qin Yanxi and Ying Sisi turned their heads in the same direction at the same time. The person who came was wearing a black coat, about 20 years old, tall, delicate, and fair. Hello, Shen Zhengrong, long time no see. Shen Zhengrong said kindly, long time no see. Did you come back from leave or did you go back to the city? Back to the city. Qin Yanxi couldn't wait to introduce Ying Sisi, this is my daughter-in-law, surnamed Ying. Only then did Shen Zhengrong notice Ying Sisi. His eyes moved to her face and he was startled. She looked so beautiful and familiar. Hello, sister-in-law. Ying Sisi smiled broadly and said generously, hello. Shen Zhengrong pulled Qin Yanxi aside and whispered, when did you find a partner? When I left, weren't you still single? Qin Yanxi, it was already there years ago. Get married. Done. Shen Zhengrong gave a thumbs up, you are so efficient. What are you doing now? Qin Yanxi replied, review to prepare for the university entrance examination. If someone hadn't locked you in the warehouse, you would have gone to college this morning. Did you find that person later? No. Qin Yanxi clenched his fists. Shen Zhengrong asked again, where do you plan to go to college? Whatever passes the exam counts. Shen Zhengrong invited the two of them to dinner, but Qin Yan declined politely, let's meet again when we have time. That's okay, or you can come to my house as a guest. Shen Zhengrong. Qin Yanxi, I don't know the address. Shen Zhengrong said angrily, hey. Didn't we exchange our home addresses before? Have you forgotten? I remember yours, don't you take me seriously. Forgot, you say it again, this I'll make sure to write it down. Shen Zhengrong, number 88, Yuquan Road. Come and play when you have time. Qin Yanxi responded, okay. After the two parties separate, Ying Sisi said, are you an educated youth who went to the countryside with you? Why are you locked in the warehouse? Qin Yanxi explained one by one, he was assigned to our farm last summer. Because he and I were from the same place, he was arranged to share a dormitory with me. After a few months, the unified examination was resumed, and he was admitted to university and returned to the city. And I was locked up in the warehouse before the exam and missed it. Ying Sisi complained about Qin Yanxi's injustice, who is so bad. I cursed him with bad luck for the rest of his life, isn't it just him? You are a dormitory man, and you were locked up, but he didn't say a word. 2 days before the exam, he was admitted to the hospital because he felt unwell and has not returned to the dormitory. I heard that he fainted in the middle of the last exam. If he comes back, I may be able to catch up with the exam. Huh? Could someone harm you too? It's just that he held on. I thought so at the time, but I had no evidence. The two went back to the courtyard while chatting, and stayed there for one night. Early the next morning, Qin Yanxi went directly to the teacher's house to review, while Ying Sisi returned to the courtyard alone. Wash the intimate clothes that you have changed into and hang them on the line, then sit in the living room and turn on the TV to pass the time. At lunch break, Li Junle came to find her and asked her to go home and live, Yewei didn't know where to go to play after her engagement yesterday. When she came back, she said that her legs hurt. When she went to the hospital for a checkup, she found that her ankle was broken. Hey, so much happened at home these days. It's troublesome. Your aunt is recovering from a serious illness. I've been very busy with work recently and there's no one at home to take care of it. It's a mess. Can you go over and help me for 2 days? Yang Cixi was in a dilemma. If Li Junlu ordered her, she would decisively refuse. His tone was rather that of discussion. After careful consideration, she said, "There is no need to stay here. I will go there to do some things during the day and leave at night, but I have to wait until tomorrow." Hey, Li Junlu left. Please vote. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 137. In the evening, Qin Yan resigned from Get Out of Class. Yang Cixi talked about Li Yewei's injury and that she wanted to go back to her parents' home to help. Qin Yanxi said directly, "Isn't this just a maid? You are not allowed to go." Yang Cixi bit her lip, "I have already agreed." "Are you stupid?" Yang Cixi lowered her head. Qin Yan said, "The teacher gave me 2 days off before the competition. I will accompany you tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, see how the family treats his wife." Yang Cixi raised her face and said, "Didn't you read before the competition? Appropriate relaxation is conducive to performance." Yang Cixi was happy. With him by her side, she felt safe. That's good. The next day, Yang Cixi and Qin Yanxi returned to their parents' home together. Song Hanmei put a pile of clothes in the bathroom and asked Yang Cixi to wash them. "I spoke at this moment, but it took a long time before I remembered to say hello. Why are you free to come today?" "Qin Yanxi, I can't live without my wife." Yang Cixi, "What do you mean?" Song Hanmei laughed dryly, "I'm not afraid of people's jokes either." Qin Yanxi, "Who knows if you don't tell me?" Song Hanmei. Li Yewei's voice came from the room, "Sister, are you back?" "Who else could it be if it wasn't me?" Yang Cixi approached. Li Yewei was wearing a cast from her feet to her calves, leaning on the bedside and backrest with a tired expression. Yang Cixi said again, "Weren't you fine yesterday? How did you fall?" Li Junlu didn't go into details yesterday. Li Yewei's face turned red unconsciously. After the engagement party, Feng Shuangzi became interested and took her to a small hotel. 2 people stood on the bed in a small hotel. She fell and twisted her ankle. "I accidentally dropped it." "Sister, come in and sit down. I have something to ask you." Yang Cixi raised her legs and stepped forward. She wanted to see what tricks Li Yewei could do. "Close the door." Yang Cixi closed the door smoothly. "Ask." Li Yewei hesitated. You. Daughter-in-law, come out." Qin Yanxi slammed the door. "Your brother-in-law can't live without people, so I have to accompany him." "You shouldn't be in a hurry." Yang Cixi opened the door and left. Qin Yanxi, "What did you say behind closed doors?" Yang Cixi, "Yewei has something to ask me. Before I even started talking, you knocked on the door." Qin Yanxi coughed to hide his guilty conscience. He always felt that Li Yewei wanted to tell his wife that there were 2 people involved in him. "It's okay if my wife doesn't believe her, but what should I do if she is afraid of divorce?" Without her by his side, he disliked everyone and wanted to hit everyone. He said to Li Yewei, "You can't tell me something in person? Are you trying to bully my wife in secret?" Li Yewei, "Who bullied her?" "It's just you." Qin Yanxi pulled Yang Cixi to sit on a chair. "If she has something to say, she can speak loudly, you can hear her." Li Yewei. Yang Cixi couldn't laugh or cry, he was so childish today. Song Hanmei couldn't stand it anymore. Mainly jealousy. Although Qin Yanxi was not very polite, he loved his wife. "Look at Yang Cixi," Since marrying him, the skin on her hands has become much more delicate. Yewei. Sooner or later you will regret your bowels. I'm going out for a while. Song Hanmia left. Yang Sisi and Qin Yanxi sat in the living room for a while and then returned to their original room. It has become a utility room. There was everything. Most of them were some of Li Yuwei's old clothes. They looked like they were 70% new, so they were just thrown on the bed. Qin Yan said, "If this is the case, I will ask you to come and live here." "Where will you live?" Yang Si had a self-deprecating smile on her Li flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 138. The gloom in Yang Sisi's heart disappeared. Well. Fortunately you are here, otherwise I would still be bullied now. She had never thought of resisting in the past, but she was unfamiliar with the place and had nowhere to go except here. It's different now. She has money and a stable home. When encountering injustice, there are still people who help her resist. At noon, Feng Shuangzi came to the door and said loudly, "Yuwei, I asked my mother to make chicken soup for you." Li Yuwei couldn't help but be happy. Auntie is so polite. You are her daughter-in-law, and she is not polite to you. Who is she being polite to? How is your foot? It's all my fault. My hand hurt and I didn't have time to help you, Feng Shuangzi said distressedly. Li Yuwei said thoughtfully, "Much better, I don't blame you. I'll feed you chicken soup." Feng Shuangzi opened the lid of the box, scooped out the chicken soup with a spoon and brought it to her mouth. Li Yuwei looked down at the clear soup and couldn't help but feel disgusted. Is this chicken soup? How much water was added? And it smells fishy, making me want to vomit when I smell it. How can I drink it? She shook her head. I have no appetite now, drink it yourself. Feng Shuangzi was also polite, then I'll drink it. Feng Shuangzi drank the soup in one go and picked up the chicken legs. Do you want meat? Li Yuwei still shook her head. Feng Shuangzi chewed the meat cleanly with 3 strokes, 5 divided by 2. Li Yuwei showed a bit of disgust. Every time she got close to him, her filter of Feng Shuangzi was broken a little bit. Him on TV. Elegant and noble, with a bit of domineering air. At this moment, the more I look at her, the more she looks like a tweezer. She even began to regret handing her over, and began to worry that Feng Shuangzi would not become a talented person. Think of this. She was very anxious. Double happiness. Have you been to the black market recently? Why do you always ask me if I go to the black market? You can't go there. Feng Shuangzi was frightened by the patrol team. Even if he knew the location of the black market, he didn't want to go there. Although the items sold there were cheap, he had no money to buy them. Li Yuwei couldn't help but said, "You don't have a job, maybe you can find a job to make money on the black market." Going to the black market to make money? What if you get caught? Besides, our parents are respectable. If I were caught, wouldn't they be embarrassed? And your work won't be affected by me? What do you want me to say? You should ask your father-in-law to get me a decent job. Feng Shuangzi imagined having a decent job and a stable income through Li Yuwei. Li Yuwei felt chilly in her heart. She wanted to speak clearly, but she didn't know where to start. Extremely irritable, "Shuangzi, I suddenly feel a little tired, why don't you go back first?" Feng Shuangzi closed the door with a smile, "You came all the way, and you still get nothing, so why don't you just ask me to leave? At least let me taste some sweetness." Today, Li Yuwei wanted to say that Yang Sisi was here. But I haven't heard anything from Yang Sisi for a long time, so I think they should leave. In addition, he could not refuse Feng Shuangzi's teasing, so he did not continue to refuse. Yang Sisi and Qin Yanxi are in the next room. You two look at me, and I look at you. A blushing face quietly went out the door. even thoughtfully closed the courtyard door for the two people in the room. Ying Sisi spoke first. I didn't expect them to do it at home. Li Yue was really bold. She heard what he said. The purpose is too obvious, let Feng Shuangzi enter the black market to do business. But Feng Shuangzi was unwilling and even pinned his future on Li Junlu. These two people are really a match made in heaven, and they rely on each other to succeed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 139. Qin Yanxi was equally disgusted. Fortunately, Lao Qin had chosen Sci-fi for him. If he had faced someone as shameless as Li Yue, he would have been furious. To divert attention, he said, "Daughter-in-law, let's take a stroll around the streets here." Okay. The two of them walked along the street. When returning, Ying Sisi's sharp eyes spotted two white round beads as big as soybeans on the ground. She picked them up and put them in her hand. What are these? They are oval. Qin Yanxi observed it carefully and said, "It looks like a pearl bird's egg." Pearl bird, is there such a small bird? Ying Sisi found it strange. Well, hummingbirds are smaller. Ying Sisi asked, "Can it be hatched?" "You try it. I raised it when I was studying. The pearl bird is very clingy. It will land on your shoulder, your hand, and play with you." Qin Yanxi rarely showed a gentle look. Ying Sisi wrapped it in a handkerchief and put it in his pocket. Back to the Li family again. Li Yue and Feng Shuangzi are done. Feng Shuangzi was squatting in the bathroom and washing clothes with one hand. Seeing Ying Sisi, she stammered, "Sister, you are here." "Ying Sisi, you are very diligent. Yue really married the right person." Feng Shuangzi bared his teeth and smiled, "As long as you don't object." "Ying Sisi, I have no objection. I support whatever Yue likes." Feng Shuangzi was so pleased that he gave Li Yue to that one and was afraid that the female devil would cause trouble for him. The next few days were uneventful, and he knew that the female devil appreciated his behavior. "I just don't know when he will be able to get into the bed of the female devil." He looked at the inhumane words of Qin Yan in Li Yue's mouth with a critical eye. Qin Yanxi glanced at him and said coldly, "What are you looking at?" "I'm sorry, right. Feng Shuangzi." Ying Sisi held his hand. "ACI, why are you scaring him?" "Xiao Feng, you have worked hard here. You are busy, your brother-in-law and I will go first." Feng Shuangzi promised that he would finish all the work at home. Ying Sisi raised the corners of her lips. "Actually, Feng Shuangzi is not that bad. At least it's easy to manage. Clean up after a meal and be submissive." Ying Sisi and Qin Yanxi left. Li Yue said, "Shuangzi, why do my sisters call you Xiao Feng? It sounds like a superior calling you a subordinate." Feng Shuangzi said naively, "She is your sister. There is nothing wrong with calling me Xiao Feng." Li Yue couldn't refute, "Those jobs were actually done by my sister." "What did you do?" "We are all one family, what are you and mine?" Feng Shuangzi worked hard, and when he had washed his briefs, he took them out and looked at them. Song Hanmia looked at them, and Song Hanmia yelled at him, and beat him with a broom in anger. Feng Shuangzi scurried away with his head in his arms. Li Yue was anxious and angry, "Mom, his wrist is still injured." Song Hanmia didn't listen at all. It was only the neighbors who came to stop the drama. Feng Shuangzi was afraid and left decisively. He doesn't know how to promote himself. He doesn't even do any work at home, so he can't do anything here. Also beat people. What is this? Song Hanmia looked at the mess in the bathroom and had no choice but to do it herself. When Li Junlu got off work, she accused Ying Sisi of only eating and not working. Li Junlu rubbed his temples, "Since she doesn't work, then if she comes back tomorrow, just let her go. Song Hanmi, I was speechless. This. What is this? She can do a little bit of work here, she can figure out Yang Ceci's character. If Qin Yanxi hadn't followed her, Yang Ceci wouldn't have been able to escape the work at home. Qin Yanxi had to review her speech, and she didn't believe he could still come with her tomorrow. Humph. I can see clearly, you are just worried that the world will not be in chaos. You can do it yourself tomorrow. Li Junlu threw his arm and left. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 140. Yang Ceci did not return to her parents' home the next day. Because Qin Yanxi said she would stay near the examination room one night early, she was at home all day. Pack a change of clothes and make snacks for him. Make a small nest for the pearl bird. It's a full day's work. Before Qin Yan resigned and left home, she asked as if she remembered, when will the competition be over? Come back on the 6th day of the lunar month. You want to compete for a week, Yang Ceci thought to herself, what kind of competition takes so many days? Qin Yanxi didn't say anything. I'll try my best to make it as early as possible. Okay, I'll wait for you at home. Yang Ceci gave him a ride. When the car was far away, she turned around and went home. There are few people in the house and it is empty. When going to bed at night, Yang Ceci suffered from insomnia. In the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep and got up to drink water. I was startled by the sound of opening the door. I saw Qin Yanxi wearing the pair of glasses he hadn't worn for a long time and blocking the door with large and small bags. She was extremely surprised and said, "Didn't you say you would participate in the competition tomorrow and live near the competition venue?" Qin Yanxi looked at her. Wearing a pure white nightgown, she looks like a little angel. That stuff is very good. I slept with my soft white little wife in my arms for half a month, leaving him to stay in a guest house with no heating and get cold. If you don't control your body, you don't know how to feel distressed, right? I don't want to live here anymore, he said. Yang Ceci happily stepped forward to pick up the luggage. I told you I wouldn't let you stay, but you just left. You don't know how hard it is for me to sleep alone. Qin Yanxi smiled lightly. Yang Ceci returned his luggage to its place and put the food in the kitchen and set it up. Looking back, I saw him sitting in the living room, and stepped forward to hold his hand. What are you doing sitting here? Go back to the house and sleep. Qin Yanxi lowered his eyes and fell on the entangled hands of the two. After not seeing each other for a while, her hands became much more delicate. He couldn't help but rub her skin twice, feeling itchy in his heart. Some can't sleep. There is a competition tomorrow. You have to sleep even if you can't sleep. Did you not wash up? I'll add some water, Yang Ceci said and left. Qin Yanxi, I've washed it. He smelled of soap, so he had taken a bath and slept. Woke up in the middle of the night and read the letter left by the other party. Except it didn't say SISI. Nothing is too small or too small. Yang Ceci dragged him and said, have taken a shower and gone to bed. Qin Yanxi stood up and followed her into the bedroom. It feels a little more warm than the last time we met. Yang Ceci sat on the bed and waited for him. Qin Yanxi was at a loss when she saw him. Who told you to look at me like this? Yang Ceci was a little confused. Didn't she always look at him like this? I didn't say no before. Well. Men are so fickle. Who told you to have a bad temper? I will endure. She looked away and lay down. After a long time, my eyesight went dark. The wooden bed then made a soft sound. Yang Ceci immediately leaned over and said, you can't look at him, but can you hug him? She put her hand on his chest, and she could clearly feel his body stiffening. She began to feel strange about him again. When she hugged him before, he would hug her too. Today I was completely motionless. I guess I'm too sleepy. It was late at night after all. She was sleepy too. Yawned lightly, closed his eyes and went to sleep. Qin Yanxi could not sleep. Taking back control of his body, he thought of her immediately. The bicycle was kicking and smoking as he rushed back, and the man was also in his arms. Also very proactive. He actually didn't dare to touch it. Go to sleep first. He was woken up by Ying Sisi. "ACI, it's 6 o'clock, it's time to get up and eat." Qin Yanxi opened his eyes, and saw the woman's delicate and beautiful face very close to him. He said, "Getting up so early? You are competing." Ying Sisi stood up straight and walked out.